Welcome to Confessions by Banana Ketchup. The Thing with No Skin. I grew up in a haunted house, rather a haunted neighborhood. It's an old Air Force base that has since been recommissioned for college students and families that go to school on the outskirts of town. Growing up there, I have experienced many strange things, many of which I cannot explain besides it being paranormal. Even though I know a good bit about paranormal or the occult, some of these entities proved out of my main knowledge base. I've seen my little sister's double, seen multiple shadows in the house with a friend present. He quickly left after they all moved away at once. Had things move around, knocks on doors when no one else was home or asleep, footsteps up and down the hallway, conversations that would mute when you got close to them, and many other things. However, one of the creepiest ones always happened at the main bathroom. It had a small hallway branching from the main hallway. It wasn't very long, but I never felt safe there. During the night, even as a growing adult, I would run as best I could at night because I feared what was behind me. I slowly stopped doing so because I knew that whatever it was got some kind of pleasure from it. It slowly started to not feel a presence near as much, but it was still there. One evening, as I'm taking a shower, getting ready for bed, I hear a knock, but not from the door. It came from the medicine cabinet, so being the curious ducker I am, I peeled back the shower curtain to see some of the fog having been wiped off the mirror. I started to take a closer look when I saw a black, slanted eye with no skin around it start to peek its way into my line of sight. I quickly hopped back in the shower and sat there, back against the wall, not knowing what to do. I eventually turned the shower off and hauled ass out of there, still dripping wet. The next time I saw this thing, I was walking down the hall after getting home from school, and I'm the only one home. So I started to do what male teenagers do when no one is around. I hear some scuffing, like dogs running around, and a door open. I ready myself for someone to be home, and as I walk out my bedroom door, I hear a "hey," but muted, and not the voice I knew. So I start to make my way towards the front door with my back to the wall, as I felt I might need to dash back to my room for safety. My mistake here was that I was facing the hallway that leads to the bathroom. I move over bit by bit, and I hear another voice. Seems to be coming from the living room, so I take another step. Then I see something in the corner of my eye, like a hand pulling back from a corner. I couldn't make it out at the time, but it didn't freak me out enough until I got in full view of the hallway with this thing standing there in a grotesque way. Black slanted eyes, no skin anywhere, black claws, and smelled something awful. More of rotting meat than rotten eggs. I froze for a second before I saw it flinch a little, like it was coming for me, and I dashed back to my room, slamming the door behind me, only to get 3 knocks every few seconds. I don't remember what I said, but it was along the lines of, "I'm not going to be afraid of you. You can't get past this door." And then it stopped. I waited there until someone got home, to which I went outside for the rest of the day, making sure I didn't have to use the restroom at night for any reason. A few months go by, and I'm still uncomfortable in this bathroom/hallway, but not much has happened since, so my guard starts to slip. One night, I believe it was a Friday night, so I was taking a late night shower. Everything's going as normal, wash the hair, face, body, when suddenly the lights go out. There was a storm going on in town, and we were getting the weak part of it, so I didn't think much of it. I stepped out to turn on the lights and see if the house had power. Sure enough, house has power, but the bathroom wasn't turning on. Yet the exhaust fan was still on. That's when I started to get really worried and turned the lights on one more time, and with no avail, decided to keep my shower going in the dark. As I got back into the shower, I could feel something breathing on me, back of my neck, my shoulders, felt a few brushes of what I hoped was just my towel and not something else. As I'm getting out of the shower, I'm drying my hair off, and the lights come on. Awesome! I'm thinking as I started to dry my face. When I pull the towel off, I look up and the mirror once again doesn't have fog, but the whole lot of it, not just a corner. I looked up a little more and just saw the thing there, right behind me, making a smile of sorts, but its mouth was sewn shut, or so it seems. I stood there for about 5 seconds, unable to move, before feeling its claw on my shoulder, close to my neck. I was suddenly able to move, and again left the bathroom dripping wet, running to my door. I slammed it shut, shaken and trying to gather my nerves. I hear a deep, high-pitched laughter, and heard the bathroom door close. Went to bed that night with the lights on, all while hearing more footsteps than usual in the hallway. I've seen the thing twice more, but thankfully not as scary as mentioned above, since I've learned to deal with it and how to protect myself. Haven't heard much of skinless humanoids, so this is one that has always stuck with me. Scariest besides being held against the wall from a vengeful ghost. Sorry for the wall of text, just thought I should get one of my stories out there for discussion. Thank you, Heyutl, the author. Trying to figure out what's in my house. So, I've lived in the same house for the better part of 25 years now. When I first noticed it, it just seemed that every now and then a shadow would be slightly out of place based on natural lighting. Think elongated or bulged from what the shadow should be. You'd walk in, see a shadow just a hair out of the ordinary, could be night, could be middle of the day. Leave the room and return a few minutes later and the shadow would have recessed back to where it should be based on the lighting. About 7 years ago, I saw a pair of solid black legs standing clear of the wall, walk past my bedroom door. I was so convinced that someone had to be in the house, I grabbed my pistol, woke everyone up, and checked every inch of the house from top to bottom. Absolutely nothing was out of place. I restate, I've slept in the same room for the better part of 20 years total. I'm well aware of what shadows cast from outside look like. Following this, however, things calmed down for a few years. Now, whatever it is, has actively tried to not draw attention to itself, and I don't have any feelings of dread or malice, unless I'm sure it's in one area and I intentionally corner whatever it may be into that area. Recently, it's taking to moving around at near floor level and about the size of our new cat, likely once again attempting to go unnoticed, but it has gotten considerably bolder with its movements. Several times, making me juke and turn on a light because I thought I nearly stepped on my cat, only for the cat to still be asleep on the other side of the house. Now, the random moving shadow isn't all. Not only myself, but everyone in the house regularly thinks we hear the other call our name, or that one of us has music, never distinguishable, but audible enough to hear, coming from somewhere in the house. At one point, I distinctly heard an unknown woman's voice say, "I'm right here," and I had to go outside to see if someone was talking loudly in the neighborhood. Big surprise, nobody was outside, and no extra cars were around. It reached a point where I went to both an optometrist and a psychologist to make sure my vision was solid and I wasn't losing my mind to stress or anything. Completely clear on both fronts. I've made attempts to photograph or capture on video any proof, but as I said, for whatever reason, it absolutely does not want to be noticed by anyone. I don't have any intention of trying to press it to do anything, nor am I concerned about its presence in the house. I'm just curious as to what it could be. If anyone has dealt with something along these lines, or has knowledge, experience that could contribute to any possible identifications of what's going on, I would love to hear it. Thank you, Varasi, the author. Encountering creatures at night. Please help me find out what they could be. Hello everyone. I've had these encounters ever since I was a little kid. The farthest back I can remember is when I was 6 years old. I'm 20 now, and I still encounter them. I'm talking about waking up in the middle of the night and feeling the weight and warmth or something on my bed or on me. I'm not paralyzed, I can move freely, and I'm awake when it happens. I either feel them at the corner of my bed, or my legs, or standing next to me. On multiple occasions, I have reached out my arm and touched them. I could touch them, feel them, like they have a physical body. But when I turn the flashlight on my phone on so I could see what it is, it disappears. They were warm to the touch. I used to be freaked out about them, but now, if anything, they make me feel safer and happier for some reason. and I always sleep better after I touch them. They don't seem to harm me, at least I don't notice. I do often wake up with scratch marks all over my body, but I think I do that to myself in my sleep. However, I sometimes get bite marks in areas where I wouldn't be able to reach. I don't own any pets. These usually don't hurt, although they often have dried blood around them. I never felt like they were a problem. This happened in our old house, our current home, and when I was sleeping at my sister's place. They seemed to follow me, rather than the location. I won't help with what kind of creatures these could be, if they are harmful or not. So far over the years, I haven't noticed them directly harming me. I have been struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts ever since I was 8, and have attempted once. Not sure if it's related though. If you can help me identify what these creatures could be, I would greatly appreciate it. If you need any more info, feel free to ask, and I will answer to the best of my ability as fast as I can. Thank you in advance. Thank you, NecroHUN, the author. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you already haven't, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any new episodes. See you again soon, and until then, please, be safe.